Well, good evening, fellow gardeners. I'm Kelly, aka K2, and this is K2 Garden Adventure, my channel dedicated to me building my dream gardens and urban farm here on the beautiful central coast of California, Zone 9B. So it is hydrangea days one more time. So let me show you all the fun we're about to have um, planting some new ones and swapping out some old hydrangeas here in the Woodland Garden on the front of the property. Let me flip this around and show you what's up. All right, so first off, I saw these at Home Depot, and these are a first editions, and they're a black leaf hydrangea, which is really cool. Proven Winners doesn't have anything like this, so that's kind of neat. And these are called Eclipse big leaf hydrangea. So big leaf, macrophyllus means that they don't want to be in sun all day, so just part sun. So I've got some perfect spots back here where they'll get some afternoon shade. Then I have some panicles, some bobos that are going to replace some that did not come back in the front border. And then I also have a couple of Invincible Spirit 2s. Let me show you these. The Invincible Spirit 2s that are going to go at the end of the driveway border. And here, if you haven't seen the Bobo, which is a smaller one, I said that's going to go up on the front of the property. Then we have some more fun because over here on the side here, we're in the southern cottage garden, as it were. Gonna drop another jazzberry in, but what I decided was that these hydrangeas that are over here, I have this tall one that was a standard form. I might put it back into a standard form, because it put out all the growth at the bottom. But all this was buried under the previous jazzberries that got out of control. So at any rate, I got to move this guy. I've got this one here, which is a Let's Dance Sky View. And that one is back in the nursery, not sure if it's going to live. And then we've got one more over here, although, here we go. This one is a Let's Dance Blue Jangle. So, need to move those three to different locations. So, well, a couple of reasons. One, because of the super petunias, but the other thing is I'm going to plant some pink jasmine there and over there, and so I need to move these hydrangeas. And we also have like some other sort of random things. I found this really beautiful, it's called a sage, blue anise sage, absolutely beautiful blue flowers. And that I'm going to drop down right in the middle of these polka dot plants. That there's kind of a fun thing that I did with some extra plants, and they just keep coming back each year and making a great show, but you need to have something in the middle of them. So anyways, there's some other stuff that we may get to, but let me get all this stuff that I just highlighted taken care of, and I'll show you what it looks like. So one of the first things I planted here on the property when I got here late summer of 2024 was I did a whole row of Invincible Spirit 2s hydrangeas that went along the edge of the driveway. And back then, I hadn't ever dealt with gophers before, so I didn't understand what a struggle I was going to be in for here at this place. So at any rate, some of them have done absolutely amazing and kept growing, and they're about to put on a real nice show this year. However, when you get down here to the end, there's some that are much smaller, like those two, And then these last two, well, I think this last one is just dead. And this one here is still alive, but my guess is because I didn't understand about gophers back then, I wasn't planting things in gopher cages. So if you go on Amazon and look, you can find these, and they come in all different sizes. This is the 1 gallon narrow, for instance, and this is the 1 gallon wide. At any rate, so what I'm going to do for this guy, I'm going to transplant him into the back of the property. I've got what is essentially like a little nursery area in some raised beds, and see if he doesn't recover. And I think this guy will just end up in the trash. But the when I replace them with these two, I'm going to make sure I put them in, you know, they'll go in these gopher sleeves. Now, I'm gonna this one here and its neighbor right here. I'm gonna investigate and see if they're not in gopher cages, if they're from the original batch. I'm gonna go ahead and dig them up and put them in a gopher cage, because that may be why they haven't done as well as their cohorts down on this end of the driveway. If they are in gopher cages, then I'm gonna just double check and make sure that there's water in there, that the water is, everything's on drip, so just got to make sure the drip is working at any rate. But hydrangeas are pretty amazing, and especially with some fertilizer, these guys can grow and catch up. So let me go ahead and get these two swapped out, and we'll see you on the other side. So I'm not exactly sure what happened to this one. Its roots look fine. The two stalks that pushed up were dead, but you know, it's not pushing out any new growth from the root ball. So, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in the container in the back and see if it comes back to life. If not, you know, no big deal, I guess. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose when you're gardening. Anyways, got this guy in here, and yeah, I put a little bit of all-purpose garden soil. Again, I'm live on sand, so I always need to amend anytime I plant anything. And I threw some hollytone in, which will help it for all year. What I decided is, since I have hard water here and the soil is very alkaline from years of watering, this used to all just be grass, this whole woodland garden. So after all that, the soil is very alkaline, so I just decided I'm gonna just use hollytone for everything, whether it's an acid lover or not. And then for the acid loving things, I supplement with elemental sulfur and some aluminum sulfate if necessary. So anyways, that one's in the ground, so I'm gonna swap out this other one. You know, I thought it was gonna have its roots eaten by a gopher or something, but there wasn't any gopher damage. So again, not exactly sure. Anyways, gonna swap this guy out, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, so these two Invincible Spirit 2s are swapped out in the ground, and I turned on the irrigation zone, so they're getting plenty of water. So hopefully these will catch up. Again, they got some fresh soil and also some fertilizer in there, so hopefully they'll catch up with the rest of them on this row. And then like I said, I'm going to take these two to the back and stick them in the raised bed, which has sort of become like the nursery. So anyways, on to the next project. All right, so we're now up at the front border garden. Up here I've got some saffron finch petunias, some lavender lantana, some white geraniums, and I've got a hedge of bobo hydrangeas that goes all the way down. Then behind that, a row of lavender, and then behind that, a row of limelight prime hydrangeas. So at any rate, I just replaced this one Bobo, and it was completely gone. So I think a gopher got in there and ate the whole thing. I mean, there wasn't even any roots left. But again, these were some of the first things I planted. So I replaced a few last year, and obviously um, until I replaced all the ones that don't have protection, probably going to be swapping a few out. So I've got 4 or 5 more to do. So let me get to that, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. And we are done up here with the Bobos. So at this point, there is a Bobo alive everywhere, and Limelight Primes are all good. And I just double checked all of the drip and watered some of them in. So hopefully they will do real good this year, get a little bit bigger, more established, and hopefully I don't have any more gopher attacks. But I do have like 3 or 4 more that are in the back if some more do get taken out. But as of right now, all of the front border hydrangeas are good to go. We've got like I said, a double row of Bobos, and then those Limelight Primes in the back. I can't wait till those get 5-6 feet tall, and that'll create sort of a living wall with all this stuff up here. Looks like I'm going to need to I cut the lavender back earlier this year, but I cut one all the way back to this size. But the guy that helps me sometimes, he didn't want to cut it back as far. So the problem is now they've already grown to full size and the season has just begun. So you can see they're already overtaking the Bobos. So anyways, something else to add to the list. But this is looking great up here, and I left the flags there to remind me that, hey, those ones were just planted. So if I think, if I'm up here, I can like throw them some extra water. But looks like everything up here is getting plenty of water for right now. So anyways, on to the next project. More hydrangeas to come. All right, so the next hydrangeas are these beautiful black ones. They're called Eclipse from First Editions. And this one I want to stick essentially right here, but I've got this lilac that's back here, and I've lost the tag. But anyways, so this lilac needs to move, and he's not getting enough sun back here anyway. So I found a spot for him right over here. And so the lilac is going to go right there, which will give space for the hydrangea. Then the other one is going to go right over here. And then I'm going to move this little ukara, which is right there, kind of over to the same area. And drop the well, I might stick it right there. Now I'll probably stick it right here. It's because it's kind of small in between the this Gold Coast cypress and this buddleia. Yeah, I'll stick that one right there because I think I actually have plans to put an actual hydrangea right here. So anyways, that's the game of musical plants that I'm about to start playing. So we'll see you on the other side. So I got this Eclipse hydrangea in the ground, and it's got water, so that's great. But I noticed this fern over here, foxtail fern is what those called. Anyways, he is too close to that hosta and to that Japanese maple. So I am going to move him to the left a little bit. And I was able to move the drip line out of the way. So now I can just hopefully drill a hole, and hopefully he won't be too difficult to move over. So let's give it a go. So I think that is going to do it for this evening. Hopefully you enjoyed what I've been doing, but let me flip this around and so we can recap everything we got done. So for Hydrangea Day, as I was calling it, we start up here in the border, and on the front border, we replaced 4 Bobo hydrangeas, which are dwarf hydrangeas from Proven Winners, and all the ones with the green flags. So we replaced all of those, and then over here we replaced 2 of these Invincible Spirit 2s with some I just got in a shipment from Proven Winners Direct. So those are in the ground, and fertilizer and all that good stuff. And I got the oh goodness, I can't think right now, but that's all right. Anyways, those are in the ground, and check the drip and all that, so everything hopefully will be good, and they're in gopher cages and all that good stuff. Back here we just got done with a bunch of stuff. One of the things I did was I moved this dwarf lilac up here, and it's called Palaban. So it says it wants full sun, so it was kind of back in the shade. I think originally I thought, oh, that'll be a nice smell next to the bench swing, but it just wasn't getting enough sun, and I needed room, so that was an easy call. Over here, we planted one of the 2 eclipse hydrangeas with this incredible, almost, I mean, it's like black foliage, so it's very cool. And it really sets off, I mean, just look in the camera, look how much it sets off the bright green all around it. So that's really cool. And it looks like it's going to have deep red flowers. Be curious, because it's a macrophylla, I'm going to give one of them some acidifier and see if I can't get blue flowers, baby blue flowers against that black foliage would look incredible. So that's going to be a fun experiment to try on one of them. I also moved some plants that were in those places over here. Speaking of multicolor hydrangeas, look how beautiful this guy is right here. Got all the colors going on at once. All right, so back in here, I just got done moving. This guy was a beast, this foxtail fern. And so he is moved over. That's where the dwarf, oh my goodness. Wow, I can't think. I need some caffeine or something. The dwarf lilac, that's where the dwarf lilac was, Palaban. I moved this, I always call this, I lost the tag a long time ago, but I call it my Christmas Ukara, because it's got reds and greens all mixed in. Move that over here, and all that reorganizing gave me enough room to plant the second eclipse right here. And again, look at how that black foliage sets off the green and the chartreuse that's around it. Got another hosta that's popping up. So yeah, and then in the very back, I put some hydrangeas into the nursery, but unfortunately not going to have time to transplant these other hydrangeas, which just means that tomorrow might be another hydrangea day, because I've got these 3 hydrangeas over here I need to transplant and plant some those jazzberries, but and also this really cool blue sage, but that's a project for tomorrow. At any rate, if you haven't yet, please hit that like button. Please leave a comment, share with some friends and family that are into gardening. If you have an idea on a plant that I should get, please put that in the comment. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know. I'm still learning, and I learn from all of you as well. And most importantly, you have yourself an absolutely wonderful evening. And until the next video, happy gardening.